fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going with the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up there.
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God!
God, what?
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.
Hey everyone, the USF 2000 is a blast to drive now, and here's your chance to learn it quickly. From my tutorial, VRS created a free bonus track guide for the Laguna Seca circuit, where you can learn exactly what I do in every corner to improve your lap times and get faster on track. You'll learn how to easily recognize brake markers, you'll find out which curves to attack and which ones to avoid, you'll know when to use the full track and when a sequence of corners requires a compromise, and you'll learn how hard to brake and when to lift. The VRS quick reference track maps are available free to download and delivered each week to your inbox. The entire global MX-5 series is available, as well as bonus maps like this one and many more. So if you're a new racer, or a veteran, or just anyone who wants to learn how to get faster sooner, the VRS track guides are for you. Just hit the link or button on screen and get yours today.
When it comes to the real world, this place is going to be a challenge. When it comes to the virtual, this is even more of a threat. Circuit of the Americas, a track which has all three phases of what a car should be challenged for, and by every stretch of the imagination is the biggest bit of Vegemite that you can see out there in sim racing. Either you absolutely love this track, or you absolutely hate this track, and that will go down to driver preference today here for your iRacing Grand Prix Series. Welcome everybody here to Austin, Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and that includes the field sizes and the field strengths. Here today, I'm Jake Sperry. Scott Fountain will be along with me for the ride as things go, as we take a little look at this very beautiful auditorium there on the run through that big triple right-hander towards the end of the lap, as we find ourselves with 2 laps, 8 minutes of qualifying. Got that the wrong way around for a moment. Track temp today is 25 degrees. Winds coming in from the southeast at 11 kilometers an hour. And this is the circuit of the Americas. Got that very long back stretch from 11 all the way to turn number 12. That very fiddly first sector of the lap, which is always going to be difficult to get correct. And then those final two corners, which become so very crucial, as well as that amazing run up towards turn number 1, which crests the hill and you descend back down again, trying to find as much time as possible. But that's where we find ourselves in terms of the battle here today. Fonzie, there is one thing that stands out more than anything else around this place. It's the curbs. You avoid them.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 6 of this championship. What an awesome series this is. Absolutely love doing it. Although it is early in the morning where I am in the world, it's certainly worth getting up for. And yeah, it's a great circuit, although it's not most people's favourite circuit to drive on. Certainly not one of my favourites, but yeah, should be a great race today.
I will stick up for the people who like this circuit. I think it's a very good circuit and has its own appeals, which bring out some great racing here. As things stand, I believe that we are in the wrong server that we're seeing right now, with Jan Stratinsky currently fastest in split number 2. But split 1 currently has Mitchell Welker up at the top of the times at the moment. So that is very much the focus going on at this point in time. We'll bring you radio coverage then of that the longer that we go on and we get that sorted for you and jump into exactly where we need to. But Fonty, an incredible track that it is. How important is it today to stay in range? Of course, you've got that opening sector, which becomes a really, really big challenge. But the big key is that run out of that opening sector to the attacks from 11 and 12 where the DRS is.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sperry, and yeah, my error there for jumping into the wrong server. It's a bit embarrassing. Jumped the gun too quickly there. Yeah, fantastic track. This turn 1 is really, really difficult to get right. It's yeah, a big challenge, and sort of you make a big mistake there, and you've got a few cars behind you. You're gonna slowly find yourself getting gobbled up pretty quickly.
Yep, you certainly can do, and what will be a key is those temperatures and the strategies that go around them. Drivers taking different options today in terms of how they're qualifying. I've seen all 3 tyres being used as a strategy card. About half the field, or 2/3 of the field even I should say, have gone for the soft red-walled compound tyres. Then about a further, I would say, 6 have gone for the yellow-walled mediums. And Anthony Catt, in the number 16 today, will be out there on the white-walled hard compound tyres. So it is really a different challenge out there in terms of how you qualify the car. And what has been key is seeing who's put some good times down. And Diogo Oliveira is currently the fastest driver on the medium set. He's 4th fastest at the moment in qualifying. And we are seeing some big gaps, Fonty, about 0.3 of a second, the gap at the front, Welker to Nurmela. And then your championship leader, Matt Wood, well, he's in 3rd position right now on a 33.9.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Matt Wood, very, very good driver, and yeah, certainly one to watch. Great with the strategy, and yeah, the last event that I broadcast of the series, yeah, came through and really shone at the end of the race, so expect to see that from him. This track is so flat, and it's yeah, quite difficult to go through over those curbs, and yeah, you can find yourself getting off tracks pretty quickly.
You certainly can do. This is a difficult track for off-tracks as well, so you do have to keep that in the back of the mind as you drive around this place. 17 instant points take you to a drive-through penalty, and then 25 to disqualification. It used to be back in the olden times that 17 would get you to disqualification, which made it very difficult. And this track actually holds a lot of relevance, especially in iRacing today, Fonty, due to the comments that Yuki Tsunoda made earlier on this week. He said he was using the iRacing scan of Circuit of the Americas to practice, but the hands were too big on the driver, so he kept crashing.
Yeah, that would sound right. Yeah, certainly I'd love to go to some of these American tracks. Yeah, they're really, really impressive. All these tracks all over the world. We're a little bit secluded down here in New Zealand where I am, and not quite the open, fast-flowing tracks that we see overseas. But yeah, it's going to be a great event today, mate. I'm really looking forward to it.
I certainly am as well, and qualifying is just about to bring itself to conclusion. We've got ourselves about 3 seconds, 1 second, no seconds before we move ourselves over then to the grid. And let's get that up for you on screen. This is how everyone is going to be stacking up. Mitchell Welker's number 12 will be on pole position, a 1:33.521, 0.3 of a second clear of Marco Nurmela in second, with Matt Wood in third and Diogo Oliveira on the mediums in 4th position. Jorge Martinez will go from 5th, and the Japanese driver Masafubi Abirame will go from 6th place, with Reynaldo Augusto 7th and the South Korean Jin Se-yuk rounding out 8th place. Kleber Toffoli makes it the 3rd Brazilian inside the top 10. Thomas Wieck will round out that top 10, and just behind him it's a row with Richie Stanley, the Supercars driver, there in 11th, with Gennady Kalashnikov in 12th place. Ben Horrell will go from 13th alongside John Pat Kelly, with Kent Nielsen and Anthony Catt 15th and 16th, with Ray Griffioen and Adam Webb sharing row 9 of this grid. And the final two drivers who did not set a time and are separated by iRacing, Jacob Oberslack and then Kazuki Igarashi, rounding out then the field. And it's going to be a very important battleground, the Circuit of the Americas. It's 37 laps that they have here today. And of course, with these 37 laps, they've got that big launching run up towards turn number 1. And when it opens out and fans out the way it does, it's very inviting for a dive down the inside. I wouldn't put it outside of the realms of possibility here today that troubles could be on the horizon. Welker, of course, has control at the front of the field. The drivers on the mediums are as follows. So Richie Stanley will be on the mediums, as will Kent Nielsen, Ben Horrell, Anthony Catt, and Ray Griffioen. Oliveira on the soft compound tyre. And it will also be mediums for Adam Webb as well. He'll be going on the medium compound tyre, trying to get his lap sorted. So almost everyone is ready then, and we are set. This is an incredible track to get great racing going from. And Circuit of the Americas, of course, the halfway stage of the season, you sort of re-gear your championship up after this. Lights, though, are about to come on here. We're about to get ourselves ready. Let's get ourselves in for some action. And it's a green flag, and we are away. Slow start by Welker, though, off of the front of the grid. Great start there by Matt Wood. Nurmela is going to take the race lead then as they charge up. Welker's going to take to the inside line as they go through turn number 1. One car very slow off the line as they got going, and they all just about tiptoe their way through 1 and 2. A few cars pushing a little bit wide there off the exit of 1 and get themselves nicely flowing forward. Single file through the S's section, and crucially, it was defended by Welker. He's got the lead as they go through this opening section.
Yeah, fantastic start there for these guys, and yeah, pretty clean through the first few corners. Yeah, great start there from Welker. Already starting to pull a decent gap, opened up to half a second at this stage, and Oliveira back there in third.
They know they've got 3 laps until the DRS comes into play. That will come into play on lap 3. So everything here is all about a fight, a bit of side-by-side, and 3 wide down the back. Webb, Nielsen, the 2 teammates, and Claver Toffoli, who's not had a good start as they go through. We focus, though, there on Richie Stanley, making that charge on the brakes, and in front, there goes Jin Sayuk and Reynaldo Augusto. Both of them coming together, and they find themselves off at turn 12. Not much you can do. Sayuk just into the back of Reynaldo Augusto.
Yeah, pretty disappointing for those guys there. Yeah, not the way that you want to start a race. Plenty of side-by-side action going back through the pack here. We've got Adam Webb, Anthony Catt on screen as well. And, yep, nice racing from these guys so far. Good start from Richie Stanley up to 7th position.
Yep, Stanaway already up 4 places then, so he's avoided most of it. Ben Horrell's making a move down the inside at the final corner, just off the screen. They can see it, he's just got through on Thomas Veek. He's got Toffoli following, Nielsen, Webb, Catt, all there. John Pat Kelly, Kazuki Igarashi is also trying to make some moves forward, and as they hit the brakes, so slow on the brakes there is Claver Toffoli. He is really struggling to pick his point at this point in time. No damage on the car, but leaves the room as they head into the S's section. Oh. Look at this for commitment, 2 wide, and forcing the point is Kent Nielsen. He knew he had to make that place.
Absolutely fantastic racing there, side-by-side action. That turn 1 is really difficult, and yeah, we're going to see plenty of action going in there throughout this race.
We absolutely are, and it's going to be key, especially at the front of the field as well. Those drivers know they've got to do well. There is your 2nd place driver right now, 3rd place driver right now. Sorry, I'll correct myself again. 4th place driver right now, Matt Wood on screen here. He leads the championship, but he's chasing down the front 3, which is Welker, Nurmela, and Oliveira at this point in time. They've got Martinez in 5th position, and just quietly bridging the gaps at this point in time is Masafubi Abirame, who is there in 6th place at this point in time. So some nice patience then from the front 6. They got into no troubles at all, and someone who definitely wants to get something going is Jorge Martinez, but we're expecting him to be a little bit of or have a few more struggles this season, because he's putting a lot of that effort, of course, this season, Fonty, into the Dallara iRacing Grand Prix Championship.
Yep, that's exactly right. Big championship there, absolute beast of a car to drive, and pretty good practice for running one of these cars. Quite similar, although the IRA one is a bit of a handful.
Absolutely is, and of course, Fonty, we do have to point it out, you can't see one in real life. One of those. Two teammates, that nice dive as they go through. Adam Webb couldn't get the move done on his teammate, nearly opened himself up actually there to Anthony Cat, trying to get the place. Got Ronaldo Augusto trying to recover through the field. He's through on John Pat Kelly, so that's another place that has just jumped up there for Ronaldo. That brings him up into 16th position. His next challenge is to get to the 20 car in front of Kazuki Igarashi, who is all over the back of Anthony Cat, and this mid-pack looks like it is going to continue to scrap for a very long time over the course of this season. So they will make their charge. On the brakes they go into the hairpin then at turn number 11, and no dices from anyone, but now they have DRS here on lap 3, they can start attacking hard.
Yeah, that's exactly right. DRS is such a crucial part of these cars, and yeah, it really makes this racing so awesome. We've got to move up here. Anthony Cat going up the inside. He's going to get it job done pretty easily, give him plenty of room, and he will move up into 13th place.
He certainly will. Let's talk about how difficult setup's going to be here today, Fonty. This track, as we know, is a very bumpy one.
Yes, it certainly is a very bumpy track. A lot of fun. Yeah, need plenty of practice, especially in one of these cars, to be fast. Yeah, I struggle to drive one of these cars at the best of times, so yeah, trying to keep up with the likes of these drivers would be a pretty tough ask for most people.
Certainly would do, and of course it is worth noting that they have to play strategy today. The tyres are not going to last themselves to the end of the race, so they are going to have to come in, make some stops, get themselves into the right place that they need to. There is second place, and Marco Nurmler, the number 6 racecraft engineering car, driving through the opening to middle sector. This very tough right, which leads to this off-camber left, and up and over the rise through turn 10 and in towards turn 11. Now this left-hander which completely opens up the attack out there on track. So Nurmler, knowing he's got some work. Good news for Marco Nurmler is he's dropping Diogo Oliveira. He's outside of DRS range, and that's going to mean that Oliveira is falling backwards into the clutches of Wood and Martinez, who of course both of them 1 and 2 on the cars, Fonty, fought for the title last season. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Those guys, yeah, great peddlers, and yeah, here every single week. It's absolutely fantastic to see the racing between these front guys. I must say, Mitchell Welker has really started to shine in recent weeks. Been super fast, and we're seeing him already out to a 1 second lead here at this stage.
Oh, it's absolutely Piccadilly Circus in the mid-pack. If we can go back and watch it, because you've had through Ronaldo Augusto, he's just picked up a place on Adam Webb, and you've got at the moment Jake Oberslack dealing with Jin Se-yuk, who's also trying to recover his way through the field. Just behind that, Ray Graffio, and right down at the back in 20th place. John Pat Kelly's in there, Igarashi's going to be up there as well. Every place is mattering right now, and even for these minor positions where they know they're going to be losing iRacing safety rating, they want to battle, they want to fight. This track gives them that opportunity. Yeah,
you're certainly right. It really does. And yeah, you can easily find yourself making a mistake around this track, especially up here in turn 1. It is so hard to get right. It just look how tight that is. You can overshoot it very quickly, and you know, just drop way back.
Absolutely you can, and that could be troublesome. It could be very irksome for some drivers. They run through the S's and up the hill. Now they start to rise. Focus then on the battle between Kent Nielsen, Kazuki Igarashi and Ronaldo Augusto out there on screen at this point in time. Clayton Foley's a bit of a ways away. He's managed to get himself back up to speed after a slow opening couple of laps. He's now 3 seconds down the road, so Augusto's going to have to be attacking. So too Igarashi, because Kent Nielsen's got no DRS here. So you're going to see this. Nielsen's going to try and cover the middle of the road. Igarashi thinking about the inside, decided to go hard to the outside, try and open up the corner as much as he can. We'll get a better drive off the exit here. Might have a lunge at 13 if he wants to get that sorted, and he's not quite there at this point in time. It is worth noting, Nielsen on the mediums, Igarashi is on the soft, so he's got the tyre advantage.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Kent Nielsen, very good driver, and I'm sure he's been here every single week that I have broadcast this series for the last couple of years this Barry. Yeah, fantastic driver, and yeah, we'll definitely see him come up there once he gets those mediums off and chucks a set of softs on towards the end of the race. I think we'll see him make his way up into sort of top 6.
Certainly think so. They also get DRS on this front stretch as well, so they have double the opportunities to go out there and attack into turn 1. Renato Augusto gets all over the curb there on the inside. That's not going to give him many chances then to push forward and make something happen. So just has to be patient, has to stay in line. Now, an issue for Jorge Martinez over the opening stages of the lap. He has really dropped back because he had a half spin actually at turn number 1, just chasing, getting a bit too aggressive over the anti-cut curb on the inside of the corner. And Martinez has dropped himself about 3 seconds.
Yeah, okay, we'll go back and have a quick look at that one and see what's happened here.
And here we are, the virtual racing score replay, and it will be up into turn number 1 where all of the troubles happened for him. This was what was going on in the middle of the pack. The key was for Martinez up a little bit further forward. There's John Pat Kelly on screen, but Martinez, as he's trying to chase down the front group, stay with them. This is the key. You can't make mistakes when you are chasing down behind. You've got to stay within a range. Goes in towards turn number 1, as you can see here, Fonte. And as he just tries to put the power down, I believe we've gone about a lap too far back. And as such, we have ourselves a lot to think about then in that. But he did have a half spin, and it did cost him the time at that point.
It certainly did cost him the time. Yeah, apologies there for not quite grabbing that one on time. Must have clicked the button too many times. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see him make his way up. He's already starting to gain on Matt Wood in front of him. And yeah, great with strategy, great with fuel and looking after the tyres. So I expect him to yeah, make a full recovery from that.
Yeah, let's go back to live pictures then, hopefully, as now Igarashi is through right now on Kent Nielsen. He has picked up the place. Renato Augusto hasn't quite been able to do exactly the same at this point in time. So ultimately, we have seen a couple of changes out there. There is ourselves back to live, and there is Jorge Martinez at this point in time, a little ways away and falling backwards into no man's land. There's Richie Stanley, still in 7th position, doing a good job. The Supercars driver was saying to some of us here at SimSpeed TV that he was getting the itch again to go out there and start racing this car again. He was really enjoying watching the racing, seeing it happen. Of course, the E-Series, the Repco Supercars E-Series came along, and he went, I'm going to have to drive this again, aren't I? Answer, of course, to that one was going to be yes. And at this point in time, he finds himself in 7th, just trying to hold at bay at this point in time. Gennady Kalashnikov there in 8th place.
Yeah, exactly right. Richie is such a talented driver in real life and on the sim. He yeah, really did well over in Europe, and yeah, I remember watching him on his first GP2 race in the wet. Never driven in the series before, and went there and cleaned up. Did fantastic in supercars as well, and yeah, took a bit of a break from it for a couple of years, but great to see him getting out there, and look forward to seeing him at the Bathurst 1000 in real life.
And it's not just the fact that he's out there driving, Fonte, it's the fact he's out there driving for probably the Ferrari of sim racing in terms of teams, and that, of course, is Team Redline.
Yep, that's exactly right. Fantastic stuff to see him out there doing that, and yeah, let's hope to see him have a good result today. Only Kiwi in the race, I believe. Certainly know Richie on a personal level pretty well. He actually raced a go-kart with me at a Christmas event 1 year, many moons ago though.
Yep, certainly did. And the chasing continues out there on circuit. 1.6 seconds the gap at the lead between Welker and Nurmela here on lap 8. There is Masafumi Abarame in 6th position, and he's keeping Martinez honest right now. That gap about 2 seconds. He's got about 4 seconds to Richie Stanley. There, though, is your leader and second place drivers. Second place are on board with Marco Nurmela, giving that chase as he goes through, flicking through the left of turn number 19 through Whataburger corner as it is now, and Toyota turn number 20. And they're named like that on the service, Fonte, after NASCAR's invention going to this track, as Jinsei Yu dives down the inside of Adam Webb, yellow walled mediums despite the yellow rims, and he gets the move done. So a nice change of position being sorted there, but a track which, for all intents and purposes, had itself a great amount of viewership over on FS1 on Fox in the United States.
There we go. Learning a bit of a fact there for me, Sperry. I like those facts. Your facts are absolutely fantastic, mate. Keep them up.
Yeah, no worries at all. race, though, is still not over and done with. I tell you who's been impressive over the last couple of laps. It's been Diogo Oliveira, who has really started to come into his own. He's actually been clawing that gap back to Marco Nurmela. That last time by, a 37.1 for Nurmela, it was a 36.4 for Diogo Oliveira. He took 0.8 of a second out of the Finnish driver in second place. So Oliveira's clearly got some pace. He's holding Matt Wood at about 1 second. He wants to go. He wants to get that iRacing button box or that dash box car as close as he possibly can to the front of the field.
Yeah, he certainly does, and yeah, fantastic driver. Yeah, probably not quite as experienced as some of the others out there.
He had a pro stripe once upon a time, Fonty.
Oh, there we go, mate. Yeah, there we go. Another fact for me there, Sperry. Thank you for that, mate. Yeah, no, he does fantastic. Most weeks he has a good run. We have seen him can have a little bit of bad luck and find himself getting into trouble, but certainly this season he's gone okay so far.
Yeah, Diogo Oliveira, 2017, found himself driving in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. Of course, that season, back when a certain Martin Kroenke picked up 12 straight victories and was 100% to win that season, and did an incredible job of bringing everything together out there on track. One driver who is way down the order right now is Thomas Wieck. At this point in time, he actually, I believe, had to come in on lap 4 to make an early pit stop. So Wieck really struggling out there, has gone on to another set of the soft compound tyres. I think his race right now is going to be a lonely one at the back of the field.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Not exactly sure what happened there to him. Hey, but anything can happen, and you know, if we have a couple of guys make a few mistakes in the pit lane, say speed into the pit lane or get a penalty, that's going to cost him as well. So he could still make his way up a little bit further. Kent Nielsen, however, is dropped right back here, and he's back in 19th place now. I'm not too sure what's happening here, but I'm going to aim to go back and have a look.
Ooh. Lap 8. Oh, it was lap 8 on the front stretch. He was battling hard with one Mr. Reynaldo Augusto, and then later on in the lap there's been a little bit of a kerfuffle, and that kerfuffle is he completely missed his braking point going into turn number 12. He was being attacked by Anthony Cat. He just overcooked it and actually did very well to keep it out of the barriers with that. Had a half spin in the gravel, and that's why he's back in 19th position with Ray Garithio into an uncharacteristic mistake for Kent Nielsen, and he's got a lot of work to do to bring himself back through the pack. Lap 10 here of 37 we find ourselves now. Going on to lap 11, our leaders are at this point in time. The front four clearly away at this point in time. They've got about 5 seconds soon to Jorge Martinez, who is in 5th place. And these four know whoever stops first gets an undercut but struggles on the tyres for the next stint.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a bit of a catch-22. Either you're going to start off strong and potentially not finish so strong. Oh, we've got a car around here.
Oh, no, that's not good. That's Jin Se-yuk, who will be around the South Korean driver, spinning it at turn number 1. Now, the question is, was it contact? The answer is no. So he just goes through one. He over-rotates the rear. It's slightly on camber as you go through that. So you've got a little bit of work to get you through the corner. And ultimately for Se-yuk, he finds out why you can't be too aggressive on the throttle input of these McLaren MP430s.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to go back and have a quick look and see what has happened here.
Absolutely. So going through the final corner right now, chasing Anthony Cat, who has seen the incidents happening in front and behind him over the course of this one so far. So has definitely been caught in a whirlwind up the hill in towards turn number 1. And you're going to see this, the back.
Whoa.
It just goes.
Just goes on him. Yeah, that was a bit of a strange one, but it shows how difficult that turn 1 is. And as soon as you start to wear those tyres out, you're really going to struggle, as we've just seen then.
Absolutely. Let's get ourselves back to live into the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th if possible here, because it is really starting to close up for Marco Nurmela's Racecraft Engineering car. The iRacing dashboard machine behind of Diogo Oliveira is there. So too is Matt Wood. And the key for these drivers, they keep themselves close to Mitchell Welker, who leads this race, led races earlier on this season, had led at the Hungaroring earlier on before his race fell apart in terms of the strategy. But here's where the DRS comes into play now. You're not going to guarantee an overtake. It guarantees you almost to get alongside, but Oliveira, not close enough this time to make a move, but it's just that constant needling, that internalized pressure that Marco Nurmela is going to be dealing with now for the remainder of the opening stint.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Nurmela is under a bit of pressure here. Yeah, Matt Wood just hanging on the back there, waiting for a mistake to be made. We have seen Matt Wood win many races over the years, and yeah, it's just gonna want to hope that Welker doesn't pull too much of a gap, and with these guys fighting, he's already opened it up to 1.4 seconds.
Oh, in comes one,
no.
in comes two. So the top two dive into the pit. Nurmela and Welker might well be looking for medium tyres. If they go on to soft, it's a two-stop strategy here today. Martinez is going to dive into the pit on top of that as well. So a big call then. It leaves out Oliveira and Matt Wood to go and duke it out.
Yep, certainly right. This is an interesting call that they have made reasonably earlier than what I thought they would have. So one of them's on the medium compound, the other one's on the soft. It is a very interesting strategy call there from Nurmela.
And we've got a car in the pits as well with damage, and it's Kazuki Igarashi who is out of the race. So, oh, Igarashi's gone upside down. He's gone through the triple right-hander. Coming towards the end of the lap, he's just got a huge tank slapper, and he's actually flipped it into the Safe Pro Tech Pro barriers.
Yeah, okay, that's yeah, not a good start for him. Yeah, he'll be very disappointed in himself.
There is Kazuki Igarashi's wounded vehicle. We're just catching this right now on the replay, so he's all on his own, and this is what's going to be the most frustrating point of this race. He goes through the triple right-hander, he just gets himself a huge tank slapper, and whoa, it's gone. And that is one of the reasons why there is so much runoff area at that section of road.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There is plenty of runoff around here, and it just shows how flat the track is. That yeah.
Stanaway's had a moment, and it's a self-spin. He's grabbed the curb on the brakes here, trying to get it turned, Fonzie, and he's gone around. He's done a full 360.
Let's have a look and see what's happened to Richie. Whoa. It's, yeah, this track is really not working well with the tyres. Yeah, the downforce. Potentially these guys maybe haven't done a huge amount of laps or understand the setup. I don't think I've actually broadcast this series at this particular track before, Sperry.
Well, Oliveira, by the way, if we can go back to live, is just coming out of the pits now. Oh, and there's contact. Nurmela and Welker make contact as they go through the exit of turn number 1. So now look at this. Welker is actually holding up Marco Nurmela right now. There's a difference in tyre. Nurmela's got to get himself by. He's been stuck behind for a lap. He's got to find the move, and look at how the dirty air really hurts him through the opening sector. He's dropped back to 6/10.
Yep, you're exactly right. Yeah, a mistake there, and under plenty of pressure now. So, yeah, great battle forming between these two. Matt Wood leading the race at this stage now. Well, yeah, theoretical lead will be Welker, so he's 21 seconds behind Wood at this stage, so yeah, he should still come out in the lane, but it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, here we go. And straight through the inside, Welker actually apologised over the radio there to Marco Nurmela after that hit that went on forward, and from that happening, decided, you know what, as recompense, the Lazy Rocket car falls behind then Marco Nurmela, who will now have that opportunity to go out there and race aggressively over the next stage of the laps. Faber Toffoli and Kent Nielsen fighting quite hard right now, a little bit down the order, and that is Toffoli actually getting through and gaining that place. So a good pass there being constructed. In the pits now is Matt Wood. He's looking to get himself out and away. Again, he's going to be behind the front two, but should be ahead of Oliveira, who did not have, by the looks of things, a great stop. Wood also on the softs, but he's going to be looking to try and bring those home, but it's going to be a long way for Matt Wood on those stops. He's got to go 22 laps if he wants to bring it home on a one stop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think the medium compound tyre is the way to go with this race length still left, but I don't do laps in this car all the time, so potentially these guys know something that I don't. And yeah, Matt Wood is a great driver, great on strategy, so yeah, he has probably made the right call.
Masafumi Aberame then leads as we look at the battle way down the order. This is one Mr. Reynaldo Augusto and Adam Webb. I would have thought, no, it's not Adam Webb, it's Kent Nielsen. So Nielsen then is looking at Reynaldo Augusto. He's flown on by, and no matter which way he's looking, Kent Nielsen right now, he is being overtaken by Brazilians left, right, and centre at this point in time. Now here's an interesting battle for Marco Nurmela. At this point in time, he's on the back of Horrell and Stanaway.
Yep, that's exactly right. He is on the back of Horrell and Stanaway, and yeah, he's done a fantastic job at catching up there.
Oh, and he's going to go for the move immediately. Down the inside, he spins. Whoa. Marco Nurmela's gone around. Welker's going to have to take avoiding action. Matt Wood's going to be in this as well. And it's going to be a race up on speed. Nurmela, that's the last thing he wanted to do to make that mistake.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see what's happened here.
No contact. You're going to see this right now. Just, again, back end steps out. And it's that grabbing, that rear locking that we're seeing quite a bit here today that is really costing these drivers.
Yeah, he was very lucky there not to have contact, actually. Yeah, could have seen a car plow into the side of that very, very easily, but he managed to get away pretty quickly.
Aberame has come in and out of the pits then. He has made his stop, which means now your race leader is Ben Horrell out there at this point in time. The battle's still going on though. 3rd, 4th and 5th for the net lead. Mitchell Welker, Matt Wood, Marco Nurmela, they're all there. Oliveira's a few seconds down the road, and there is Jorge Martinez, who sees all of that as a little bit of a ghostly ship in the distance. As defensive line being taken here, Wood's going to go around the outside, trying to pick it off, but he's going to run out of track to make that happen, and as such, he'll have to sit and be patient, maybe attack into turn 16. That might be the place where he can get it done. If he takes a narrow line on the inside, he's going to be followed the same way. Welker gets some contact there, and Nurmela's going to get by them both as he's going to be on the outside for the triple right-hander, and Welker was not happy about that contact. Wood was trying to take the inside as well. Nurmela with better tyres goes around the triple right, has the inside and the place.
Yeah, fantastic move there. Great racing between these guys. This track is really struggling though for these cars in the rear end, isn't it? Like we've seen cars go around every single lap, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens towards the end of the race.
It will be interesting. Welker's really upset. He's just asked, is my wing broken? The rear wing, the answer's no, it's still intact here, Mitchell. You've still got a race. Don't get yourself too wound up at this point in time. There's still a long way to go in terms of how you construct this one outright. Now, the keys here are going to be Horrell and Stanaway, how long they can stay out, how good they're looking, because they're both on the medium compound tyres, and they're going to be hurting the longer it goes. There is Matt Wood right now, charging towards turn 11. He's got to get a clean move done at turn number 12. He wants to have focus on his victory. He's got to stay, you'd feel, at this moment in time with Marco Nurmela, and cannot let that guy on the mediums get any closer. That is Diogo Oliveira, and he is primed and key to the end. To the outside goes Matt Wood trying to pick this off again. He can't get it done.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can't get it done at this stage, but plenty of race length to go. 21 laps left to go at this stage. So yeah, a lot of mix of tyre compounds still out on the track. Nobody going for the hard compound though.
No, that's to be expected. That hard compound has too much of a paced appreciation really to use. There is Anthony Cat on screen, and that battle just a little bit further behind. As you can see, it is Reynaldo Augusto now and Gennady Kalashnikov out there on circuit. Kalashnikov right now has had one stop already in this race, moved on to the mediums and not really loving it. Stanaway loses the place though, up in towards turn number 1. So Marco Nurmela makes his move, and in fact did it into the final corner this time without a spin. getting that sorted. So a nice change of position there being sorted. Nurmela will have eyes on the race lead very, very shortly. Welker and Wood still there, and they're still chasing as well. So we just rewound back, get a look at this. It's into the final corner, Fonty.
Yeah, there we go. Final corner is a real pressure one, and yeah, Stanley maybe just taking it easy on the tyres. Yeah, it is obviously a medium compound tyre compared to the soft, so not going to quite have the same grip. Just couldn't quite get the corner as quick as what Nurmela did, and yeah, move done.
Move done, and Nurmela now in the lead, and Wood down the inside of Welker. The position, Welker holds it round the outside, you can see in the back of shot, and as they go in towards 13 and 14, they've got to be careful. 15 and 16 are next. Wood's got the inside line though, and this should be it, unless there's a big crossover. You can make the crossover happen at that point of track, but it won't happen for Mitchell Welker on the mediums. Matt Wood finally gets himself through, and he'll have eyes on Stanaway next in terms of position. Marco Nurmela, your race leader right now. Horrell stays out along with Stanaway. They'll be looking to probably go here at this point, Fonty. So about lap 23, you'd feel, is a great place to make a stop for the mediums.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the different strategies. Oh, there we go. Wood up the inside of Stanaway. Move done. Stanaway didn't put too much pressure on that one. He knows he's got the slower tyre on and maybe has a different game plan. Just wants to hit those lap times and see where he ends up. But he has always just made a little bit of a mistake there, and he's under pressure here from Welker.
Yeah, it's not just a medium tyre, it's an old medium tyre. He hasn't yet come in and made a stop, and this should be a position easily made into 11 potentially here for Welker. He's not going to do it. Mind you, neither is Matt Wood trying to get by in comparison to Ben Horrell just in front. So watch this, some Noah's Ark sim racing. It's going to be too wide, too deep when the DRS activates, and they'll both look toward the inside. Here comes the moves. This is firstly Welker's move on Stanaway, and also through. Matt Wood gets it done on the inside. You just saw it there. He gets by Ben Horrell. So just like that, two changes, and you'd have to blink and you would miss them.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, great racing at this track. Probably one of the best series that I've certainly witnessed here. For close contact racing, we do see lots of passing in the series, but today with how the track is and the mistakes we've seen so far, it's certainly been turned up. Stanaway in the lane.
Yeah, he's going to dive in then. So 19 laps only on the mediums. Now that would suggest to me a second set of mediums and try and bring them home, which is always going to be a little bit ideal. Here comes the lunge down the inside then, as Welker gets the pass done. Home race for Mitchell Welker as well, the American, dealing with Ben Horrell there for that move. Welker in the number 12 from Club Midwest out there in iRacing. The battle further down the field right now is going to be quite key as well. This is a replay, of the move. So Welker up the inside, as easy as you like. A nice pass being started. Stanaway is out and away, and he's on the back of the group, which is Renato Augusto, Gennady Kalashnikov, and Ray Griffioen. So he'll have some work to do to claw his way back through the packs.
Yeah, certainly will have some work to do, that's for sure. Just looking at back here at Martinez, he's out there on the medium compound tyre, sitting in 6th place, so struggling a little bit to keep up with Oliveira. But yeah, plenty of time back to that next car behind him.
I'll give him some credit though, he was 3/10 quicker on that last lap. There's Ronaldo Augusto down the inside of Gennady Kalashnikov. They're going to fight all the way. Now who's got the DRS is the key. The answer is Ronaldo Augusto, so he's going to get himself about a car length here as they reach the braking zone. No slipstream, of course they were side by side to make that happen. And the F1 Apps car now jumps a position over Kalashnikov. Ray Griffioen just in front will be the next focus out there on track. So drivers are also going to have to be very alert today. Ooh, that's not good at all. And that is one of those drivers. That's Kent Nielsen, actually, who's just gone around a big spin going through at 12.
Yeah, I'll just go back and have a little look and see what's happening on board with Kent there. And see what's happening here.
Just looks like he lost the rears as he went in. never had the car really under any form of control. He grabs the brakes into the corner. So he's lost it on entry already, and by the time he's realised he's going around, there's nothing he can really do to stop it. So that's going to hurt. It's going to put some life out of the medium compound tyres. And he's now behind Jacob Overslap and is one of the final runners then in this field. So an element of hurt for Kent Nielsen, and really atypical of what we've been seeing from him over the last couple of seasons. It feels like this season has been a real challenge for him.
Yeah, well, he had some great pace. And 2 weeks ago, he really did well. Came through the field. He was one of the biggest movers and shakers that we saw. Not certainly having a good run today.
No, certainly not. And it is showing at this point in time that he's a little bit further back. There is Adam Webb, who's just lost the position to Claber to Foley. Told him, pass on the left-hand side. Foley said thanks. And they got on with their races. They are 8th and 9th positions at this point in time as they try and focus on getting their race towards a conclusion. Ben Horrell still out there on the mediums right now, but he's going to be under a world of pressure at this point, if we can go forward to look at that, because there is going to be a Diogo Oliveira trying to angle up an overtake in the not too distant future.
Yep, that's exactly right. He's looking pretty racy at this stage. Both of them are on that medium compound tyre, so yeah, pretty even playing for them. We've got, although he's on 8 lap-odd tyres, Horrell on 22 lap-odd tyres.
Yeah, 38.1 from Ben Horrell and a 37.9 from Oliveira, so he's got close, and oh my goodness me, he's getting feisty behind Ray Griffioen right now. Gusto, Kalashnikov and Stanaway, they all want a way through as they go through the very fast and flowing lefts and rights, inspired by Silverstone's Maggots and Beckett section of circuit out there through the kink left and up the hill, this off-camber right into the off-camber left, and oh, around goes Gusto. Half spinning in the wall.
There we go. It's certainly not what he wanted. But yeah, this track is really surprising me. And these guys who are, top of this league within iRacing across the world, a lot of them are struggling.
They are. It's cold conditions as well. It's 24 degrees. The wind's coming in from the southeast. Out of the pits comes Kent Nielsen. They're getting his service sorted. He'll be out and away on a set of the soft compound tyre from now towards the end of the race. And meanwhile, while all of this is happening, Matt Wood is and Oliveira actually has dropped quite a bit of time over that last lap. Just looking at his times, he's really struggling to find a way through. What I was going to say is we've got a lovely bit of side-by-side, and through goes Stanaway on Gennady Kalashnikov. There with that element of a move, and there's contact. Kalashnikov into the back of Stanaway, and Stanaway goes around.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an amateur move there, I feel.
He apologises, though.
Yeah, he did apologise, yep. Things happen very quickly in these cars. Maybe he expected Stanaway to hold a little bit more speed through there. Just ran into the back of him. It's disappointing. Griffioen in the pits.
So to Adam Webb, they're both in. What I was going to say is that Matt Wood is absolutely charging through. We got some side-by-side, though. Finally, Oliveira's alongside Ben Horrell as Griffioen exits the pit. So we got that battle going on. And down the inside of the iRacing dashboard car, apparently you can get it on Google Play. It doesn't matter. He's Google Played a position up forward, and he now gets himself there. But look at how much it's actually cost him to try and get by Ben Horrell there, because Jorge Martinez is now all over the back.
Yep, that's exactly right. Martinez is coming up trumps and really finding his feet on that medium compound tyre. Still doing quick lap times in comparison to others out there on track. Just the car behind him doing a slightly faster lap time. Oh, there we go. Another car in the lane. That is Ben Horrell. Ben Horrell in the lane.
Yeah, Ben Horrell's in the pits, but look at the gap at the front now, Fonty. It's down to 1 second. Matt Wood, over his last 3 laps, or his last 4 laps, have been 35.5, 35.7, 35.9, 35.9. You look at Nurmela, 36.5, 36.2, 36.4, 36.6. I think he took a lot of the life out of the tyres there early on, Fonzie, when he had that spin trying to pass Stanaway.
Yep, certainly right, mate. That you overcook these tyres and they're going to fall off pretty quickly, especially that soft compound tyre. I'm just interested to see if these are going to last the difference. Matt Wood, he is very, very experienced in this car, and yeah, they both have that soft compound tyre on. They started with the soft and changed again for that soft, so these tyres are going to be pretty old at the end of it.
I think they're looking at maybe a two-stop, and it might not be the end of the world if they try it, because they will have the tyre life to romp up towards drivers towards the end. There is Marquez, and there is Anthony Cat in the Chelsea car, looking to go through. Hopefully his tyres won't be as injured as Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku have been earlier on this season, so he's got a bit of work to do now as he chases down John Pat Kelly in the fight for 11th place.
Yeah, there we go. John Pat Kelly, another experienced driver who turns up here every week. Not one of our front-running drivers, but certainly does a fantastic job out there on track and generally keeps it out of trouble. We'll sort of see him just inside that top 10, maybe just outside that top 10 normally. Yeah,
he finds a way there, does John Pat Kelly, as in comes Marco Nurmela then from what was the race lead. He'll get another set of softs, and now he's trying to two-stop this one to success. He'll come out just behind Masafumi Aburame, which says he's got 23 seconds and 13 laps to chase down a victory. By my marker, Mitchell Welker's going to be his main challenge here to make that a reality. That's about 6 seconds off of that 23, so 17 seconds, 13 laps has got to be 1.3 seconds quicker every lap.
Yeah, that's a pretty big ask. Though this track is yeah, challenging in itself, and you know, very, very easy to make a mistake, as we've seen so far. 1.3 seconds is a big ask for any of these guys.
Certainly is a big ask. Matt Wood, of course, your race leader. He pitted on lap 15. Those tyres, there's Richie Stanaway at this point in time, and he's trying to get back to Gennady Kalashnikov after the contact that they had. It was a full second quicker on that last lap. Don't expect to move this time through. Maybe next time through might be a chance to see an overtake happen there, as in comes Matt Wood now to make his stop. He's also going for the two-stop. He's got 1 lap older tyres, but he has the advantage of knowing that Nurmela uses his tyres more. Yeah,
certainly does. He, yeah, as I've continued to say, Matt Wood is very experienced. He knows exactly what he's doing, and yeah, I think that he will certainly be giving Nurmela a run for his money at the end of this one.
Certainly will. Mitchell Welker now will have the lead. It is Diogo Oliveira in second. Jorge Marquez then in third. Nurmela comes out ahead of Matt Wood then. With the pit stop sorted, Nurmela will have himself about 2.5 seconds as Wood gets back up to speed. But the key's going to be how quickly can they get up to pace, and how quickly can they find time against the drivers that they're around. At the moment, Welker's running high 36s at this point in time, 36.9s, 35.7s, 35.6s. Get it done between now and the end of the race, you'd feel.
Yeah, I would think that is the case. 12 laps left to go in this one. It's yeah, been a pretty challenging race. Yeah, big mistakes from some really, really good drivers, and yeah, a few little incidents which could have been much worse than they actually ended up to be. I think Stanaway was pretty lucky with when he got hit at the back before. Yeah, plenty of runoff at this track, so you're not going to go spearing into a wall that often unless you make a big mistake.
Gennady Kalashnikov then loses the place. Through goes Richie Stanaway up into position. Got the pass done at turn number 1, and this time Kalashnikov left pretty much I would say a Texas-style acre of space there, which was 2 acres, and that's why the move has been scored as complete. They go through the middle sector. Welker in control of things, 6.2 seconds to the good over Diogo Oliveira, and Jorge Marquez then is a further 2.2 seconds back of that. But Nurmela is flying. The gap down to the leaders at 15 seconds. That was a 35.2 on that last lap, but he's got to make 4 passes here in this one, and the first of them is Masafumi Aburame, who's had a really underrated and great race so far.
Yeah, you're certainly right. He certainly has driven a great race so far. Nurmela, though, very, very quick. Fastest lap of the race so far for anyone, so he's pushing pretty hard. He needs to get out in front of Welker, or hope that his tyres drop off quick enough.
And Matt Wood as well behind, who was 2.3 seconds back when they crossed the line, who is now 2.5 seconds back. He had to get by Kent Nielsen, a little bit of traffic. The work is there. Aburame moving to the middle of the circuit. He's trying to shake off a little bit there of the tow behind. There's Ben Horrell at the moment in time in 7th position. He's pretty much out of this race for the victory, but he's going to see how far he can potentially go. Aburame is doing a good job, and there is Gennady Kalashnikov. He has not given up grandeur of beating Richie Stanley in a race.
Yeah, not as of yet. Richie doing a pretty good job for someone who doesn't turn up there every week and just jump back into it. He is fighting it with the best, and good to see that happening.
It really does get the reflexes up, this McLaren MP430. Great run here for Marco Nurmela, right up underneath on the power. We'll have DRS here on the front stretch as they run up the hill, and we'll get immediately alongside in a little bit more, and under braking. He is there. 35.6, took another second out there of Mitchell Welker, who is improving his times now. That was a 36.6 that last time around, so he is finding a level that he can feel quite comfortable with. Now Matt Wood as well is chasing, and he did a 35.2 on that last time by. His fast lap of 2.69, just 4 thousandths off the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, that's certainly right. I wouldn't expect anything different from him. The track looks to be coming on at the later stages in the race. More grip getting into it. As the temperature goes up, you can already see a little bit more rubber laying on some of those tighter corners. Yeah, this is going to be a real thriller into this race.
Yeah, it's all about the chase. It's about 5 seconds of a gap between Aburame and Martinez out there. There's Ben Horrell in 7th position. He's 16 seconds back of Matt Wood at this point in time, so I think 7th is what he's aiming for. Stanaway about 5 seconds down the road behind, who will be trying to give chase on those medium compound tyres. But at the moment, the likes of Gennady Kalashnikov still there, still being patient, but Matt Wood is now on the back of Masafumi Aburame, and I'm not sure there's much that the Japanese driver can do to hold back Matt Wood, the reigning champion here in this series, through Whataburger into Toyota, and looking to challenge off of the exit and attack in towards turn number 1. I think it's going to be same as before, but this time Aburame is going to go to the inside, but he lifts way out of it before the corner. He knows he's not racing Matt Wood here for this one today.
Yeah, it certainly does. Better to let him go and, yeah, not risk having an accident. Yeah, Matt would have got past him pretty quickly, I would have thought anyway. But, yeah, good sportsmanship there to let him go by.
Lap 29 of 37. They've got 9 laps to go. Nurmela's got to make up 12.7 seconds of gap, so that is 1.3 seconds every lap. He took 1.2 out on that last go around. Still there is Ben Horrell in 7th position. The gap opening out between Stanaway and Kalashnikov just a bit behind, and everyone else has spaced themselves out quite handsomely, I would say, over the course of this race right now. It has been a race where a lot of mistakes have come in from certain drivers, and surprisingly so.
Yeah, exactly right. As I keep touching on, this track is so difficult, and yeah, quite strange mistakes that we've seen made, mostly under brakes or just getting on the throttle a bit too hard. The rest just been coming around so quickly, but we haven't seen it in the last few laps, so must be feeling a little bit better for these guys.
Might be, but that's an off track there for Martinez. Not the first time we've seen him do that either over the course of this, and that's going to bring Nurmela closer. Kalashnikov is just trying to hold on to a second here in this fight for 8th and 9th, and actually there's been a move as Martinez, well out of the throttle, says I want no part of a fight with Marco Nurmela, and Nurmela flies on through. So that's another position that's changed, and that puts Nurmela on the podium right now as they're still battling on the front stretch. They charge on up, And there's the replay of the move. Down the inside, as easy as you like to get that done.
Yeah, certainly was an easy one for him. And yeah, he didn't make that hard at all. He is on that medium compound tyre, so must be starting to struggle. His lap times are certainly showing that he is struggling.
Yeah, that medium tyre is starting to go away, and there is Matt Wood, and I'm pretty sure that the Northern Spaniard is soon to cede his position to Matt Wood, and that will be fourth place, falling away if that move is completed. And Wood needs to get this one done. PD and Q, he has got to stay within a striking distance of one Mr. Marco Nurmela if he wants the race win here today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one. The times are pretty similar, although Matt Wood has done the fastest lap of the race, the only driver to get into the 1 minute 34s and the 1 minute 34.9, so really showing his pace at the later stages in this race, which I did expect him to have, and he's going to get this move done pretty easily.
Well, on the brakes, up the hill, thank you very much. He takes that one, moves up into fourth position. He's still 2.5 seconds behind, though, Marco Nurmela. And he's got to stay there. Nurmela's gap now. We've got ourselves about 7 laps to go. The gap is 9.8 seconds. And he's only got one more car before he can go fully into chase mode. And that's Diogo Oliveira and the iRacing dashboard machine. As Oliveira, the former pro stripe in iRacing, now leaves a little bit of a wider line. DRS down the straight as Nurmela has a little twitch as he goes off on the exit, trying to keep the car in balance. Green light, and all 4 means that the DRS is wide open. 8th gear, he'll be right up on the rev limiter as he goes through 336 Ks, going by one Diogo Oliveira, and moving up into second. Now the Dogon chase.
Yeah, there we go. Fantastic move. Set that up well and executed it very nicely. Wasn't much that Oliveira could do there. And yeah, he's really starting to drop off his pace now. 1 minute 37.4 for Oliveira that last lap. So Matt Wood not too far behind him now, only 1.7 seconds. So I would expect him to make that move pretty quickly, and that chase will be on for him.
It certainly will. And it's a case of 2 trying to chase down Mitchell Welker. His times, that was a 36.8 on that last lap. That's still really good for him at this point in time. It was a 35.1 though from Marco Nurmela, so he took 1.7 seconds out of him that last time by. The gap is down to 8.1 seconds with 6 laps to go here from the circuit of the Americas. It might come down to the final lap. There is a bit of traffic in front though for Nurmela to deal with. That's Thomas Veek that he will have to be trying to get by ever so shortly, and finding him at not the best place on the circuit. That's where the dirty air is at its most prevalent out there on this track. Up the hill through that left, he'll lunge to the inside. Veek will outbrake himself technically, and there that will go. And just behind that, well, here comes the attempt then, as Matt Wood wants to try and line up Oliveira. I think he may be slightly too far back.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second. He is closing.
Oh, he might have a chance.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we
He's
go.
Gonna do it. It's going to be an easy move done too. Oliveira is not going to try and fight that at all, although Wood did manage to lock up there, so he was pretty committed. But nice move. Moves into third now. 2 seconds to Marco Nurmela, who has 1 lap older tyres than what Matt Wood does.
Yeah, but we know that Nurmela used his tyres quite a bit in that second stint. That might be where the final couple laps come back into Matt Wood's favour, and also Mitchell Welker's in terms of this race. The American leading this race from the front. There's another battle further back in the pack, by the way, and it's Anthony Catt versus Kleber Toffoli. That's an important scrap right now because it's for the final spot in the top 10.
Yeah, that's exactly right. These guys battling for 10th, and Anthony Catt, Kleber Toffoli, both regulars in this series. He's doing a fantastic job out there tonight. Cars looking fantastic and nice and clean. No damage to them. We haven't seen a whole bunch of damage, although we've seen cars go off. We haven't really seen damage because of how much runoff there was.
Absolutely, and even then, we've only had a couple of retirements. Kazuki Igarashi had his major crash through 16, 17, 18. And Reynaldo Augusto had his big incident coming up the hill through the left. Now there's Matt Wood, that gap just flicking under 2 seconds then to Marco Nurmela. Nurmela was 6.8 when he crossed the line. He's got that gap down now to 6.1 seconds, and it's fluctuating up there on screen on the timing tower. And every single bit of chase is going to be hard fought for here in the final stages. There, though, not a million miles away right now, it's Jorge Martinez, and he is going to be trying to stay with Oliveira as much as he can, because he knows 4th place is going to be some really, really good points.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what these guys are going for, is points. 20 lap old tyres for Martinez, so still doing some great, has some great pace. Basically same pace as what Welker does up in the race lead, so it shows really how important qualifying was for these guys.
And 4 laps to go. The gap is 6.1. Nurmela did not have a good lap there. It was only a 36.1. Matt Wood was 0.8 of a second quicker on that last lap. So Wood's gap is 7.5. He's got to chase down these 4 laps at nearly 1.8 seconds quicker than Mitchell Welker. He was a 1.5 seconds quicker on his last lap, but he's still got to get by Nurmela as well. It's Nurmela's tyres just hit the cliff at the wrong time in comparison to number 1, Matt Wood.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's 9 laps through his tyre stint now, so pushed him pretty hard. Be interesting to see what the pace of Matt Wood is next lap by.
It certainly will do. Here comes Toffoli, though, with the move for the top 10. Going to lunge into turn number 1. Cat takes the big wide line, and Toffoli nearly loses the back end there. And you'll have to try again, Sunshine.
Yeah, certainly will. Couldn't get the power down, and the rear just wanted to swap on him. Managed to catch it and keep it going. He's got 4 laps left to have a crack at that one, and we'll see how he gets on.
We certainly will, and this is such a crucial phase of the race. There are no guarantees in terms of how this race is going to end up. Any one of the top 3 still could take the victory away here from Circuit of the Americas, as they have the leader going through the final corner, and we'll have 3 laps to go. Another 36.8. Give credit to Mitchell Welker. His last 4 laps have been 36.8. His last 6 of 7 have been 36.8. It's been incredible consistency, but Nurmela responds with a 35.5, brings the gap to 4.7 with just 3 laps to go. You feel if he gets within a second, he's got DRS, that will help him, but these 35.5s, he's got to get a little bit more. He's got to find 3/10 somewhere out on track. If Wood was in that position, he'd be doing enough. Yeah,
certainly would. This is going to be a very close battle. We've got 3 laps to go. Absolutely nothing in it. I think Welker's probably going to have this one. Done a fantastic job. Those tyres are super old, so a little bit disappointing for these guys back in second that they couldn't challenge for the race lead.
Toffoli now is through at turn number 1. He gets by Anthony Cat. He moves up then into the top 10 with that pass, and he'll have to be a little bit cautious through the SS section, but the dirty air should give him enough of a natural defence as we see that move on replay here, ladies and gentlemen. Up the hill, in towards turn number 1, as easy as you like. That's how you make an overtake happen here around this place. But we are now coming up towards 2 laps to go, and that gap visibly closes every time we go through a corner. Nurmela chasing down Welker, being chased down, of course, by Matt Wood, who is at 1.2 seconds to Marco Nurmela the last time they crossed the line. I think the gap's very similar at this point in time. It's just on the fringes of a second, and it was a 35.5 from Nurmela and a 36.7 from Welker. Another 1.2 seconds, but it's got to be 1.8 seconds now. Nurmela's got to find something here, otherwise Welker's just got enough to hold on.
Yeah, I think he is just going to have enough to hold on. 1.2 seconds faster that last lap. Wood is closing, so that's going to be on the back of Nurmela's money. He's probably not even focused on Welker at this stage. Worried about Matt Wood closing that gap behind.
Certainly would be. Matt Wood eyes up second position. He leads the championship by a good margin at this point, and knows that the 12 and the 6 will want to try and get their seasons back on track. Nurmela getting really aggressive there, coming out of turn 11 and on the back stretch. They come along. Marquez trying to stay close as well in his battle with Diogo Oliveira. That gap 1.6 as they've got a lap and a half to go. You can see how Nurmela wants to get that gap closed. He wants to get there to Mitchell Welker. Welker has had perfect consistency with his tyres. That's what's winning him this race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, kept it out of trouble. Haven't seen really any mistakes from him. Neither Nurmela or Wood, but yeah, shows how important qualifying well is. He put it on pole and he's led it from the start. And yeah, done a fantastic job so far. I really don't think they're going to catch him. 2.5 seconds between first and second now, and Matt Wood half a second back.
Well, how important has this race been? Mitchell Welker had the contact, of course, with Matt Wood. Had himself a couple issues here and there. That's Gennady Kalashnikov, I believe, there. And Kleber Toffoli fighting hard for what is 9th and 10th. So Kalashnikov's had an issue over the course of his lap. He's now starting to fall back. But the key is it's 2.3 seconds for Mitchell Welker. We might just be safe. Keeps it on terra firma. This is where you start feeling the mistakes. And Matt Wood here has his eyes on second position. He got the gap down to 6/10 with a 35.1 over that last lap. He's got eyes on an overtake into 12. They break here at turn number 11, and he goes very, very aggressive here into position. And now gonna get it out! Round goes Nurmela! Nurmela into the fence on the final lap. The pressure told, and Matt Wood moves up into second. What an important moment for the race. Nurmela's going to be nursing that all the way home. There is Toffoli. He's through on Gennady Kalashnikov. He's got himself up another position then as they go through the S's section. But into the arena goes Mitchell Welker. He knows he's only a few corners from safety. He's driven an absolutely fantastic race. There's Matt Wood just behind him. He's trying everything to close it down. He'll be on everything, burning the fuel, throwing everything he doesn't need out of the car. But he'll run out of time as they'll go through turn 19. Towards turn 20, it's virtual home soil. He thought he'd lost it in the middle stages of the race. Mitchell Welker holds on and wins at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him. He'll be absolutely stoked with that. Got to give it up to Matt Wood though. He put his best foot forward and really tried to do that. Marco Nurmela though, he'll be gutted with himself. Just grabbed that gas a bit too hard and around the car went. Still got battles going on aplenty here. Back for 10th. Anthony Catt going for the move. And he's not going to get it done easily.
Not easily, but it's there. Gennady Kalashnikov can't argue through the triple right. Dirty air is an absolute nightmare to go through that section. And it will have to be a lunge at the final corner if Kalashnikov wants that top 10 place. But he is just a bit outside if he wants to go and get that sorted. So it will only be 10th. He drops 2 places on the final lap, does Kalashnikov. And that will be a shame for him. He drove a pretty solid race despite the contact with Richie Stanley. The last few drivers there. John Pat Kelly's got a chance for a move potentially here. He might lunge at Jin Se-Yuk, but Se-Yuk's got that covered coming to the line. So some brilliant racing up and down the order. But let's get confirmation of those results then here for you from the Circuit of the Americas. And it was a game of 1 stop versus 2 to see how it would all be done. With 1 more lap, you'd feel that Matt Wood might take it. But Mitchell Welker has held on into number 12 and did just enough to stave off the margin with some great consistency. Nurmela had second going on to the final lap. A spin, though, at turn 11 cost him in a very highly strung racecraft engineering car, with Diogo Oliveira finishing 4th and Jorge Marquez rounding out then at the top 5. Masafumi Aburame had a very quiet race to himself today. Had a couple overtakes on him late on, but 6th place, nothing to shake a stick out there for the Japanese driver. Ben Horrell will take 7th, ahead of Richie Stanley in the Team Redline car in 8th position. Had himself a very adventurous day after contact earlier on with Gennady Kalashnikov, with Kleber Toffoli finishing 9th after a poor start, and Anthony Catt rounding out the top 10. Moving down the page then, Gennady Kalashnikov will take 11th place, dropping 2 places on the final lap, with Adam Webb in 12th and the Dutchman Ray Griffioen finishing 13th. Jin Se-Yuk had himself a big spin early on. That's why he dropped way down the order. and the South Korean fighting with John Pat Kelly to the end in 15th, with Jacob Oberslack, the last finisher on the lead lap, in 16th place. We didn't really see much of him today. Drivers a lap down were Thomas Feek and Kent Nielsen, who had to come in twice after a speeding penalty. And then the final two drivers who retired from the race, Reynaldo Augusto finding the wall through turn number 9, and then Kazuki Igarashi with his big issue through the triple right, flipping the car over in the gravel. So, with that all being said, round 6, the halfway stage of the championship, is score complete. There will be 6 more races from now until the end of the season, and these drivers have 4 drop rounds to go and work with. This is round 7, Fonty. It's the home of British sim racing.
Yes, exactly right. Silverstone, the next round on the calendar, always throws up great racing in every single series that we go to Silverstone with. It's going to be a fantastic event, as we have seen every race this season so far, and every season previous to that. I didn't expect the track to be quite like this, and the cars to be so skittery on the gas, but it was, yeah, a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that one. Well done to Mitchell Walkera, Matt Wood, and a little bit of hard luck there for Marco Nurmela, but still managed to get on the podium.
Yep, still managed to get on there, and it was a really strong race. You can catch that, of course, 1 week from today over at Silverstone. Join us here at SimSpeed TV for that. If you haven't had the chance to already, like, share, and subscribe. What are you doing with yourself? This is the perfect time to get yourself involved. The championship really starting to heat up. But from everyone who's got it done, of course, the Virtual Racing Schools, our replay sponsor for this year, from the fantastic group that has been helping to get it done with us, of course, with iRacing's open wheel community, and of course, Scott Fountain alongside me, pulling double duty cameras and commentary. Myself, Jake Sperry. Mitchell Welker held on, needed to do so, drove an incredible final stint of level consistency that, quite honestly, I don't think any other driver in the field today could have matched with that level of driving. He held him off by 1.1, but Matt Wood knows he had a chance. Marco Nurmela knew he had a chance, and ultimately those chances just fell away. We'll see you a week from now, as Silverstone is our next battleground.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's going with the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my God. Big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get involved.
Six very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.